Welcome to a special edition of Bulldog TV Wrestling. Tonight, not only do we have the dual meet versus Clinton, but we are celebrating a monumental achievement in Mahomet Wrestling, 1,000 dual meet wins. Hello, everyone. I am Nick Morphew, former Bulldog assistant and current youth club coach. And tonight, before the meet, we'll be taking you on a little tour through Mahomet Wrestling history and discuss some of those memorable moments in those 1,000 wins. Joining me right now is someone who needs no introduction. I think he goes by Mr. Mahomet nowadays. Jim Risley, an Illinois Wrestling Coaches and Officials Hall of Fame member. And Jim, you were here for basically the 80s, a little bit into the 90s, coaching many of those victories, and I'm sure it's pretty rewarding to see something you built carry on at a decent clip and achieve those 1,000 wins.
Well, Nick, first I'd like to say thanks for having me on tonight, and you're correct. It was a great journey, and I think really the mentors that I had throughout that period of time were people that I take the lessons I learned from them in my coaching career. But more than anything, the kids, the memories, very strong still in my heart, as well as I know throughout the whole program.
Yes. We were talking about it before we came on air, that the program has been around for 55 years, and 1,000 wins equals about 18 a year. When teams only schedule, at least in the past, they only scheduled around 21 dual meets. So winning 18 of those a year for 55 years is pretty special.
Well, it is special, and when you think about the longevity of the program and the level of excellence, it really takes a community to do that. Bob Hanlon was not the one that started it, but he was the guy that put Mahomet on the map, and then Marty Williams kind of took over the wrestling map. And the community embraces the tradition, and it's the fact that it's been able to last that long is, especially in this day and age, really a testimony to all the coaches, kids, and parents that have come through, staff and administration. It takes everybody to do something like that.
Yes, and so that's a good jumping off point. So Bob Moose Hanlon took over in the 70s. He built Mahomet up into a state place winning team.
Yes.
Probably when it was one class still for some of that, and you joined him at the end of his tenure. What was that like under Bob? What was it like seeing Mahomet build during his tenure?
Well, Bob had an incredible, charismatic kind of personality. Wherever he went, people knew who he was, just because of his size, if nothing else. But he also was a very intelligent young man, and he went to Tom Porter when he decided he wanted to take over the wrestling program. Moose, as they called him, had never wrestled, and he was a great student, very intelligent. He took his mental athleticism and physical athleticism, brought it to Mahomet, brought that charisma. Kids bought into it. And I remember I was at St. Joe watching Mahomet grow at that time, and they just had a personality. Even if they didn't win all the time, they had a personality. The kids were flamboyant, and you knew they were good. This is where I wanted to be. This is where I wanted to learn wrestling, and that's why I came here as a student teacher.
Great. And, yeah, you mentioned the name Tom Porter. The Porter family also had a huge impact on Mahomet Wrestling.
Oh, absolutely.
Rob Porter, the son of Tom, has 252 of these 1,000 wins. So can you maybe talk a bit about the Porter family since you brought them up?
Well, when you talk about families in wrestling and Mahomet, the Porter family is it. I mean, you take Brett, Rob, and Tom, and even Pat. She's worked our tournaments all the years, but Tom's influence on Mahomet was through Moose, and he kind of gave us the philosophy of take down, let him up, introduced the sit-out that we used, that we were known for. Moose took it, implemented it into this program, and that still kind of runs through it, and ran through Marty, myself, how we coached, and it changed the state, really. So you can't say enough. And then Rob and Brett have gone on to become wrestling icons throughout the state, and even took it out to Oklahoma like Rob did. They brought it back, and they've been loyal to wrestling. Wrestling's been good to them. They've been good to wrestling. So the Porter family is a huge influence on this program, and very much the reason why we have 1,000 victories. That we're celebrating tonight.
Absolutely. And so let's not skip over Marty Williams, who was head coach during probably the most successful tenure of Mahomet Wrestling. When he came in at first, you coached with Moose Hanlon and then to Marty. What did you guys unlock, or what did Marty unlock in this community that made it really take off?
Well, I think Marty, another charismatic guy, but his work ethic was unparalleled. And I've been in coaching for almost 50 years, and I have seen a lot of coaches and a lot of great coaches. But Marty set, at least in my mind, a standard of effort. And not only that, he had a great vision on how our goal of winning the state was to be accomplished. And when people came here, they knew when they got into Marty's program that they were going to be tested. They were going to have their character changed in the positive manner, and that they were going to be involved in something that was going to be the best that they could be. He brought that. We were young. We were nervous. Back then, Savannah was the team to beat, and we dreamed of maybe being like that. And then all of a sudden, now here we are talking about the history of that period of time in the 80s. And quite frankly, Mahomet Wrestling in that class of wrestling at the time, they owned wrestling. And my memories, but more than anything else, the friendship I developed, especially with Marty, I'll carry with me the rest of my life. And a big shout out to any of our wrestlers that were at that period of time saying hello. I miss you still. It was great memories. But Marty was unbelievable.
So we are talking about 1,000 dual meet victories. Of course, some of those dual meet victories were state championship matches.
Yes.
However, are there any other dual meets, or if we were writing a book and you had to contribute a chapter like this dual meet was crazy fun, insane, what were kind of the biggest dual meets that you remember participating in?
Well, let me give you a couple of reflections, because I knew that was going to be asked, and there was probably about 20 of them that we were involved in, but I whittled it down to something, and this might be kind of a strange reflection. But a dual meet once that we had are inter squads. Now you might say, oh, I need something different than that. But let me explain. We would pick teams. Marty would have, if we had two assistants, I'd pick a team, the blue team, and then he'd pick a team, the orange team. And we would compete. And at times we would have wrestling state champions wrestling each other in that meet. And it put them in the most intense competitive situation that they might reach until the state meet. Literally, that we were that tough. And that was what we wanted to do. We wanted to prepare them through the most rigorous kind of activities and experiences we could. So the stands would be full. I mean, that inter squad was a Donnybrook, and people would come like all over to watch certain kids, because you know, hey, how would like this guy Hauser and Mateo do against each other, or something like here in the gym. And it was against Illini Bluffs, ranked #1 in the state. And they would, back then, wrestle the sectional to go to state. And we had a wrestler at 145 named John Reynolds. And he got pinned by a kid from Illini Bluffs named Kokowski. Well, this was, let's see, in 85, I believe. He came back in the team competition later that night, because that's what they used to do. And we wrestled IB. And it was a close match. We knew it was going to be. This would have been probably the toughest match we were going to have to face to stop that streak of us going to state. John Reynolds then goes and beats that kid, and he did not qualify for the state. But that is the essence of Mahomet wrestling, where an individual gave so much, but when it came to the team, he could give more. He did it. We talk about that. That's part of our lore. The rest of the kids just rolled through the rest of that duel, and we beat the #1 team in the state to go to state. And I believe we got second that year.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you're saying the individual sectional happened, and then they wrestled the dual team right after it?
Right after it.
Oh, my gosh.
They used to do the state tournament that way also.
Oh, okay.
You'd wrestle your whole individual tournament, and you know what time that gets over.
Yeah.
Then after that, you would wrestle the state finals.
Oh, unbelievable.
And it was a long evening, and we had a lot of great celebrating to do afterwards. But there were other meets, like state championship meet where we won. Had 5 state champions. That was 88. And then one I remember, too, was when we were in this gym and we were wrestling the state tournament in this gym. Then that moved afterwards. So this was back, probably about 87, I believe.
The dual state tournament you're talking about?
The dual state tournament was right in here, and we crowned ourselves the state champions in this gym.
Oh, my gosh.
But the semis were against Sandwich, and they had a great team. And our crowds had not become very large at that time. They were used to seeing us win and stuff, and they wouldn't. Mahomet-Seymour showed up that day in an unbelievable crowd of people, and the stands were packed. And I remember me and Marty looked at each other and said, this town still knows, they still appreciate it, they still love us, and we love them. And they showed up that night and got us through it. And then we wrestled Unity for the state championship. And, well, that was a stepping stone there. We didn't have to do much to get that one by, because at the time they had some good kids, but our team had already wrestled them, and we knew the big one was over, and we had to get them, and we were going to win it.
Yep. You know, that point you made about kids turning things around and coming back, I think last year's third place team, they had a lot of guys step up and do that. I know James Heinold might join us on the broadcast at some point, but his son Braden didn't qualify for state. In the dual team state, he beats a kid that placed in state during that Brother Rice duel that propelled them to the third place trophy. So lots of kids showed up, stepped up. That still was happening last year, and it was amazing to see.
Well, wrestling brings that out. Yes, there is an individual tourney, and you wrestle for yourself. But when you know you're wrestling for somebody else and they're counting on you, it brings something out that really, quite frankly, always inspired me. The stories, we couldn't write just a chapter here. We would write volumes about Mahomet wrestling. Every era, they're incredible. And Marty and I get together now and then, sit out my house around a fire, and we talk for hours about the memories. But I always say, when you see one of our wrestlers, you don't have to say a word. All you got to do is see them at the mall or something with a crowd, and you whistle, and they look at you, and your eyeballs say it all. And they know that they would have literally had your back and your sides, and you love them to death. And I miss them, and I'm just so proud to be here tonight celebrating this very special milestone in Mahomet wrestling.
Yeah, and so let's talk about the current Bulldog era. Rob Ledden has been here since, I believe, 07.
Yep.
And amassed over 300 of these 1,000 wins. It's just amazing how you've gone from coach to coach to coach in Mahomet, finding the right guy to carry on the mantle. I coached with Rob here for 3 years. Great technician, super organized. This is probably the most organized program in the state. Now we have 60 kids on our high school team. I don't know if you know this. There are 180 K through 12 kids wrestling in Mahomet this year. So we are looking to keep that train going.
Well, I know there's a lot of them because my grandkids come. And, and you know, it's a funny thing. If you're a kid in Mahomet, a lot of them want them at least to get involved in this program. And we had seen Rob at Clinton. And we knew he'd be a great coach for Mahomet. But to your point, a lot of the coaches that come here, even though they may not have grown in Mahomet, they've heard of it. And it isn't long before they start looking at the walls, they start looking at the achievements, they start hearing the stories. And the tradition that is so strong, they get caught up in it. And their effort to maintain that tradition, I can't kind of boys them along during the way. And it really says a lot about the program and that tradition. And I know Rob has just done an incredible job. He's brought the team together. They travel. They go to the Disney duels. They travel to, I believe it's Montana or somewhere.
A Montana tournament. They're going to the Clash, which is a prestigious tournament in Minnesota.
He's taking places that only good teams get to go.
Well, I think that just about concludes our pre-show. Rob is going to do a ceremony that we are going to bring live. Head coach Rob Ledden is going to recognize all of the former coaches and wrestlers that are here tonight. So thanks for joining us, Jim.
Well,
great
thank you.
stories.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks for giving us perspective. So definitely a night that all of the Mahomet wrestling community could be proud of, and we will bring you Coach Ledden's presentation live next. Thank you.
The Mahomet-Seymour High School Athletic Boosters are proud to continue their support of 20 sport programs that make up MSHS Bulldog Athletics. They thank you for your continued support, and go Bulldogs! Andrew White Dentistry is Mahomet's choice for quality dental treatment in a friendly environment. Dr. White is proud to serve his hometown of Mahomet from their new location at 1112 Broadmoor in Champaign. Call 217-359-5050 to set up an appointment today. At D1 Networks, we take our role in connecting, protecting, and monitoring businesses in Central Illinois very seriously. When you need us, we'll be there, with service that sets the standard. From access control and structured cabling to video surveillance and fiber installation, we always strive to provide creative solutions to the ever-changing technology needs of our clients. Contact D1 Networks today. Visit our website or call us at 855-836-6363.
Growing your family, opening your own business, retiring to travel, leaving your legacy. At Busey Bank, we know there's a lot to look forward to and a lot of planning along the way. Celebrate your life's milestones by putting your money to work. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Jackson Construction and Restoration is a family-owned and operated company specializing in residential and commercial services. We have been serving Central Illinois for over 20 years. If you want to remodel a room, restore a deck, or even start fresh with a new house, Jackson is there. And in the times of need after any fire or storm damage, our team of experts is there to help you rebuild or restore your home. Call now for an estimate on your next project. The Mahomet-Seymour High School Athletic Boosters are proud to continue their support of 20 sport programs that make up MSHS Bulldog Athletics. They thank you for your continued support, and go Bulldogs! Andrew White Dentistry is Mahomet's choice for quality dental treatment in a friendly environment. Dr. White is proud to serve his hometown of Mahomet from their new location at 1112 Broadmoor in Champaign. Call 217-359-5050 to set up an appointment today. At D1 Networks, we take our role in connecting, protecting, and monitoring businesses in Central Illinois very seriously. When you need us, we'll be there, with service that sets the standard. From access control and structured cabling to video surveillance and fiber installation, we always strive to provide creative solutions to the ever-changing technology needs of our clients. Contact D1 Networks today. Visit our website or call us at 855-836-6363.
Growing your family, opening your own business, retiring to travel, leaving your legacy. At Busey Bank, we know there's a lot to look forward to and a lot of planning along the way. Celebrate your life's milestones by putting your money to work. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Jackson Construction and Restoration is a family-owned and operated company specializing in residential and commercial services. We have been serving Central Illinois for over 20 years. If you want to remodel a room, restore a deck, or even start fresh with a new house, Jackson is there. And in the times of need after any fire or storm damage, our team of experts is there to help you rebuild or restore your home. Call now for an estimate on your next project. The Mahomet-Seymour High School Athletic Boosters are proud to continue their support of 20 sport programs that make up MSHS Bulldog Athletics. They thank you for your continued support, and go Bulldogs! Andrew White Dentistry is Mahomet's choice for quality dental treatment in a friendly environment. Dr. White is proud to serve his hometown of Mahomet from their new location at 1112 Broadmoor in Champaign. Call 217-359-5050 to set up an appointment today. At D1 Networks, we take our role in connecting, protecting, and monitoring businesses in Central Illinois very seriously. When you need us, we'll be there, with service that sets the standard. From access control and structured cabling to video surveillance and fiber installation, we always strive to provide creative solutions to the ever-changing technology needs of our clients. Contact D1 Networks today. Visit our website or call us at 855-836-6363.
Growing your family, opening your own business, retiring to travel, leaving your legacy. At Busey Bank, we know there's a lot to look forward to and a lot of planning along the way. Celebrate your life's milestones by putting your money to work. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Mahomet-Seymour High School has a long and proud history associated with its wrestling program. This evening, we will recognize a significant milestone for the Mahomet-Seymour High School wrestling program, as this past Saturday, the Bulldogs reached and passed 1,000 dual meet victories. From the humble beginnings of a 3-win and 4-loss season in 1967 under Coach Norman Bosack, the Mahomet-Seymour High School wrestling program has cemented its place in the long and storied history of wrestling in the state of Illinois. Over the past 5½ decades that have followed, only 7 men have held the title of head wrestling coach at Mahomet-Seymour High School. We are fortunate this evening to have some of those individuals with us here. We are also fortunate to have a number of individuals who have served as assistant coaches, and we will introduce those individuals later this evening. Coach Everett Hill led the Bulldogs from 1968 to 1972, finishing with a career record of 24 wins, 39 losses, and 3. He was followed by legendary coach Bob Moose Hanlon. Coach Hanlon led the Bulldogs for a decade which produced 2 IHSA Class A third-place finishes and 130 dual meet victories. From 1981 through 1989, former Hanlon assistant coach Marty Williams was the head wrestling coach of Mahomet-Seymour High School. During his tenure, the Bulldog captured IHSA Class A team titles in 1983, 1984, 1986, 1988, and 1989. His teams finished second in 1985 and third in 1987, amassing a total of 20 tournament victories. Coach Williams coached 15 high school IHSA Class A individual state champions and an additional 15 place winners during his career. During his tenure, Mahomet-Seymour High School also won a record 104 straight dual meets. Prior to 2-time state place winner and Mahomet-Seymour High School alum Rob Porter taking over the reins of the program, longtime assistant coach Jim Risley began the 89-90 season while Coach Porter was finishing his fall semester at Edinburgh College. Coach Risley posted a 5-1-1 record, and for his services both a head coach and an assistant coach at Mahomet-Seymour High School, Coach Risley was inducted into the IWCOA Hall of Fame in 2018. And in 2019, the Mahomet-Seymour High School weight room was named the Jim Risley Weight Room. After taking over from Coach Risley in January of 1990, Coach Rob Porter led the Bulldogs to 252 dual meet victories and 4 IHSA Class A third place finishes, 3 in Class A, and another third place finish in 2A. Rob Porter was followed by another Hall of Fame coach, his father Tom Porter. During a brief 2-year stint as the Bulldogs head coach, Coach Tom Porter produced back-to-back state qualifying teams, a 4th place finish, and 44 dual meet victories. Coach Chad Hay led the Bulldogs to an additional 37 victories before being succeeded by current Bulldog head coach Rob Ledden. Also an IWCOA Hall of Fame member, Coach Ledden has led the Bulldogs for the past 17 seasons, producing, to this date, 317 dual meet victories, 11 IHSA Class 2A regional team titles, 4 state qualifying teams, and a 3rd place finish during the 2021-2022 season. Under Ledden's leadership, the Bulldog program has produced 14 state place winners and 56 individual state qualifiers. Over the 55-year history of Mahomet-Seymour High School Bulldog Wrestling, the Bulldogs have produced 85 state place winners, 29 individual state champions, 16 team trophies, and 5 team titles. The IWCOA, the Illinois Wrestling Coaches and Officials Association, has, as its members of its Hall of Fame, 6 current or former head or assistant coaches and 6 former Mahomet-Seymour High School wrestlers. Also note, the Mahomet-Seymour High School alum Mahomet-Seymour resident and longtime Champaign News Gazette sports writer Fred Kroner is also a member of the IWCOA Hall of Fame. At this time, I'd like to ask Coach Ledden to come to the podium to introduce the wrestlers and coaches who have taken time out of their schedule to join us here this evening.
All right, as you entered the gym today, of course I know some latecomers came in, so I'm sorry if I miss you as I go through this list. But I wanted to definitely recognize the former wrestlers, assistant coaches of this program. What a historic history program. What an outstanding place to be, and I'm very blessed to have been part of it. As I call your name, just raise your hand in recognition. Jason Johnston, graduation year 2001. Rory Heller, assistant coach, 2009 through 2019. Nick Morphew, assistant coach, 2016 through 2019. Zach Stafford, graduate 2014, assistant coach 2017 to present. Jeff Castor, graduate of 1992, assistant coach 2017 to present. Craig Akery, assistant coach 2016 to present. Simon Anderson, assistant coach 2011 to 2016. Justin Earp, graduate of 2005. Kyle Schutte, graduate of 2005. James Heinold, graduate of 1989. Years coach 1992 to present. Jack Vaughn, graduate of 2018. Bruce Johnson, assistant coach 1998 to 2008. Lucas Morgan, graduate of 2018. James Buzicki, graduate of 1990. Luke Hooper, graduate of 1994. Years coach 2011 through 2018. Andrew Kessler, graduate 2000. Alex Giorgio, graduate 2008. Jeremy Davis, graduate of 2000. Current assistant coach 2022 to present. Jared Ernst, graduate 2009. Aaron Fancher, graduate of 1990 and assistant coach under me for many years. Tyler Fancher, graduate of 2010. Austin England, graduate 2016. Mike Vandry, graduate 2004. Christopher Nowak, graduate 2001. Josh Dallas, graduate 2003. Jonathan Brown, graduate 2013. Brayden Heinold, graduate 2022. Josh Sapp, graduate 2001. Kyle Heller, graduate 2013. Jim Risley, assistant coach, 1979 through 1992. Justin Fancher, graduate 2000. Marty Williams, head coach, graduation year 1974. We've already read his bio. David Poe, graduate 2018. Cody Fordyce, graduate 2009. Brandon Arnold, graduate 2002. Dave Yedvodnik, graduate 1997. And I see Moxley walked in there. And I don't know, anybody else walk in late? Caleb Grove walked in late, yep. Let's give a round of applause to all of these former coaches and the wrestlers. 1,000 wins, Thank you, gentlemen. National anthem first. Actually, very briefly, before we do our national, on a night where we're celebrating Bulldog wrestling, we'd like to celebrate another one of our own. This year, each year the Illinois High School Association recognizes one head coach from each sport as the state coach of the year. A read letter from IHSA Executive Director Craig Anderson. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association and its member schools, congratulations to Coach Rob Ledden on being selected the Illinois State Coach of the Year for wrestling by the National Federation of State Wrestling Associations. Coach Ledden's service and devotion to wrestling in the state of Illinois is sincerely appreciated. He is to be proud of his accomplishments and recognition by the National Federation of State High Schools. Congratulations, Coach Rob Ledden. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd ask all those in attendance to please rise. Gentlemen, kindly remove your caps and join Mahomet-Seymour High School freshman Lillian Daniels with the singing of our national anthem.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bulldog TV Wrestling on this very special night where we are celebrating 1,000 dual meet wins.
Cake and refreshment out in the comments. And for those former wrestlers and coaches, if you want to take a walk up into our wrestling room and look at the back of the bleachers, we have a pretty nice addition to our room, a little history. Hopefully you can find your year up there. But on the back of the bleachers, there's some banners. Take a look. Let me know what you think. I'm very proud to display all those for you. So refreshments after the duel tonight. Take a look in that wrestling room, wrestlers and coaches.
The last time that we saw these Bulldogs,
We'd also like to take a picture with the banner with all those coaches and assistants. We'll have the banner out in the comments, and we'll take that
The last time we saw these Bulldogs, they were raising the third place Class 2A trophy, the first trophy in about 20 years for the Bulldogs. Coach Ledden has been to the state tournament multiple times with Bulldog teams, but they finally broke through and got a third place, and they are looking to build on that this year. Tonight they face Clinton in a non-conference duel. The Bulldogs come into this meet 9-1. They lost to Chatham-Glenwood a week ago, which Chatham-Glenwood is a good team. It was a good wake-up call for our Bulldogs, although talking to the coaching staff, I think they are eager to duel Chatham here in a week or two at the Chatham duels and avenge that loss. But Coach Ledden's Bulldogs look strong as ever, led by a strong senior class. Last year, just to give you a season recap of what happened, there were 3 individual state medalists. Caden Hatton at 106 was 5th place. Brennan Hauser at 170 was 6th place, and Mateo Casillas at 195 was 3rd place. The team also won their 8th straight regional title and aforementioned 3rd place dual team state trophy. The team last year also had a school record 30 dual meet wins. Over the past 2 years, Coach Ledden has amassed over 50 wins, which led to that 1,000 victory happening this past Saturday against Muscuda. This season, the Bulldogs have elected quite a few captains. Senior Caden Hatton at 113 is a captain. DeAndre Huey at 152 is a captain. Brennan Hauser, Mateo Casillas, Colton Crowley, and Camden Harms are all captains that wrestled the last 4 weights for this lineup. And then Isabel Leahy was elected as a girls captain. We have 5 girls on the Mahomet team this year, and we are going to start this meet off at 120. This is Justice Verona for the Bulldogs, a freshman, against Josh Bateson from Clinton. Verona gets the elbow trapped, reaches the near leg, goes around for 2 in the first 20 seconds of this opening match of our season on Bulldog TV. We have a packed gym here tonight, lots of alumni, former alumni and former coaches. The junior high teams are here. The kids club is here. It's a great atmosphere here tonight in the Bulldog gym. A stat I mentioned on our pregame show was that there are 180 kids K through 12 wrestling in Mahomet this year. The youth club has over 75, the junior high about 50, and Coach Ledden's Bulldogs at one time had over 60 kids in their wrestling program. There's less than a minute to go in the first period of this 120 match. Verona in on a high crotch shot that he kind of shot across the body, pulls the leg in, is able to double off. He has a 4-1 lead now with 35 seconds left in this first period. Looks like Verona has a wing. 25 seconds left, and he gets the fall, and there's the opening 6-pointer for the Bulldogs. Justice Verona opens the scoring against Clinton. For Verona, that was his 7th victory of the season and his 3rd fall. 6-0 Bulldogs after one match. The Bulldogs have wrestled in one tournament so far, the Neuqua Valley tournament, which they won as a team and had 4 champions. A very good start to the year despite that loss to Chatham. This past Saturday, they went 5-0 at multi-duels in Bloomington. Taking the mat for the Bulldogs now is Reese Wilson at 126 against Tegan West from Clinton. Wilson takes a one-arm shot and then a reshot by West. Scramble on the edge of the mat. Wilson rolls through, no points yet. Referee Ron Coit calls him out of bounds. Flurry of action in the first 17 seconds of this 126 match. Wilson with some jab steps and fakes. Does a nice sweep single, gets it off the mat. Trip. Oh, but West gets a whizzer. No points yet. Wilson needs the limp arm out. He's come around all the way to the far side, and then I think that was a Granby attempt by West. We got another scramble here. No points yet. Wilson's able to catch the arm. He gets West on his back. There's a minute, 8 seconds left in this match. Now he's getting the back points. Tried to get the double grapevines in, but West rolls to his belly. Flurry of activity early in this match, and it's 6-0 Wilson. Wilson tries a surfboard half and loses it. West has his head on the mat. He could probably go back to that half. Wilson lets West go with 24 seconds left in this match. Wilson in on a shot, gets another takedown. Excuse me, now it's 6-1. 10 seconds left in this first period. Another surfboard half try by Wilson. And that's the end of the first at 126. Reese Wilson coming into this match is 8-7 on the year. Wrestlers will go neutral in the second period. Wilson trying an ankle pick that turned into a knee pick. He gets the takedown anyway. Wilson had a nice club on that ankle pick. I'd really like to see him pull the head down as he changes his level and attack the ankle. It is now 8-1. Wilson trying a half and then reaching underneath and grabbing the far elbow. Getting some points on the edge of the mat here. Wilson trying to pull the shoulders in. And he gets the fall on the edge of the mat. Another 6-pointer for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs quickly up 12-0. Cruising right along in this duel at 132, we will see Cam Heinold, state qualifier Cam Heinold, versus Sable Taylor from Clinton. Cam is currently honorable mention at 132. I'm excited to see Cam wrestle this year. As a freshman, he was a state qualifier in a very tough regional and sectional bracket. 3 top-ranked wrestlers were in his sectional, and he happened to be the 4th guy who made it out. Cam is one of those wrestlers who is never out of a match. He's got that X factor. Those wrestlers that can, use their hips pretty well, grab an elbow, and all of a sudden they get their opponent on their back. Cam is very tight with that underhook. Both wrestlers kind of standing straight up here. An early stall call on the Clinton wrestler. Cam looking to jack up that underhook more. There he drops into a single. Finishes backside for a quick 2. Legs come in right away. Cam's working the guillotine. One thing we've noticed about these wrestlers during Ledden's tenure, or at least since we've been doing Bulldog TV, is the quick transition from takedown to pinning combination. Cam still has about a minute left. Now he's getting back points. Ooh. Readjusts. Getting back points, and now he's looking for the fall. We're under a minute in this first period. Plenty of time for the pin. It looks close here. Cam just needs to try and lift the head one time. I think he has it. There it is. Oh, there, and that's another 6-pointer for the Bulldogs. 18-0 Mahomet. Cam gets his 7th fall of the season. Moving right along to 138, Donovan Lewis will be wrestling Caden Poole from Clinton. Donovan, he's actually ranked 9th at 145. He's recently made the drop to 138, so we'll see where he shows up in the rankings there. Caden Poole, I believe, is honorable mention in Class A, so we might get a good match here. Lewis is a transfer from Fairbury Prairie Central, his first year in Mahomet. Both wrestlers mixing it up, fighting for position here. Looks like they're in an over-under, so probably be a stalemate. Poole looks like he wants to stand it up and throw it. Lewis not really pummeling. Oh, he gets the double unders, tries to throw it. Hip-to-hip whizzer situation. Oh, a nifty little trip attempt by Poole, but loses his balance. Lewis gets the quick 2. Good fight here. Lewis has the 2, and this will be a reversal for a 2. Good action from these two wrestlers early in this first period. Poole with a collar ride and a spiral, switching to a chop. Lewis not really looking for hand control. Poole has the wing. It looks like he's looking for the wrist. The wrist that he has the wing. Maybe try a tilt. Lewis tries to step over. That's dangerous. Poole still in control as the wrestlers go out of bounds with 20 seconds left. Poole was able to trap the near arm on that stand-up attempt by Lewis. Lewis can still probably pull the hand off his belly or roll his wrist and try and get at least one hand of hand control here. But that will end the first period 2-2. Lewis takes down. Once again, Poole stops the first move. Over on the far mat, looks like we'll have a Mahomet pin for one of our female wrestlers. Last year was the first year for a girls' official IHSA state tournament. Mahomet only had one female wrestler last year, Isabel Leahy, who's a team captain this year. Now they have 5 total. Women's wrestling is growing all over the country. Of course, Mahomet had one of the pioneers of women's wrestling in the IHSA, Mary Kelly. Lewis struggling to get off bottom here. He chose down. It's 55 seconds left in this second period. Poole applying great pressure. It looks like he uses good tight waist. He really wants that chicken wing. Putting a lot of pressure on Lewis there. Lewis is able to get to his feet. Good quick return by Poole, but Lewis does a good job bouncing back to his feet after being returned. He needs to dig deep these last 36 seconds, try to get a point before that third period. Coach Ledden on the far side telling Lewis to really clear that arm He doesn't clear it. Poole still in control. Poole has accumulated probably almost 3 minutes of riding time in this match. He's been on top for a while. I wonder if I'm not familiar with Lewis's style. It'll be interesting to see in the third period if he's on top and he's comfortable on top trying for the ride out or trying to get back points, or if the coaches will cut Poole. They do. They release Poole. Poole chose down. Lewis released him. So Lewis is down 3-2. Got a takedown in the first period that was quickly reversed by Poole. I would say Poole has been in control of this match so far. We're seeing that over-under situation we saw in the first period. Lewis ended up in a double over and tried to throw the double overs. Both wrestlers just hanging. Poole tries a level change. Poole in good position, head position with that underhook. We've been here almost a minute in this situation there. Poole, oh, we saw that trip in the first period. Oh, and he pancakes Lewis to his back. Oh, this is going to be a fall. Lewis looks flat from here, and Clinton scores its first points of the night. Great match by Poole. He really controlled that whole match. So now it is 18-6 in favor of our Bulldogs. 145 tonight. Looks like Caleb Roberts may get a forfeit. So looks like Rob Ledden is going to sit number 2, Talon Pollock, at 145. Give Caleb Roberts the chance for the forfeit and the varsity win. 160. Nick. Oh, it looks like, I think this might be Gage Decker. Gage at one. Okay, so Gage Decker has been bumped up to 160. Make sure I have the name of the is this okay, we have Winter from Clinton. Winter with a big go behind, then big mat return, goes right to work with the legs in. Oh, yes, this is 152. Sorry, not 160. So Gage Decker at 152. Ooh, tough leg ride here from Winter. Last 2 Clinton wrestlers we've seen have been tough on top. We're celebrating those 1,000 wins tonight. It's actually 1,001 right now. Coach Ledden is responsible for over 300 of those wins. He's been the longest tenured coach here at Mahomet, and we saw just before the meet started that he won IWCOA 2A Coach of the Year, so congratulations to Coach Ledden. Winter still riding those legs. You know, the Decker wrestlers, they're pretty slippery. Gage can pull something out of here, out of this tripod position, but there's only 5 seconds left in this first period. Oh, Winter being brutal on top. You know, it takes... You win a dual meet in a lot of different ways. And last meet at Team Dual State, Gage Decker came through by not giving up a pin in a crucial match in one of those dual meets. Really, it was amazing that state tournament last year. Wrestlers really had to step up, sacrifice. Some wrestlers got big unexpected wins from the team as Winters shoots in on a big double and a nice takedown on the edge. Winter is up 4-1 now. You know, one of the matches that sticks out in my mind was Ethan Grindley was a senior, very athletic senior who came out for wrestling, was a first-year wrestler. Earlier in the year, wrestling JV, he was turned to his back quite a bit. Number one rule of wrestling is stay off your back, and Ethan kind of struggled with that. But by the end of the year, he turned himself into a wrestler. He was called upon to wrestle a match against Brother Rice in the quarterfinal. Oh, as Decker is able to get a leg, he trips, but he can't come across the waist. There he does. No points yet for Decker. He just has to slip his arm out. He's close to it. There he slips it out, and he's got a 2-point reversal. Now it's a 4-3 match with Decker on top. Looks like he wants the legs in as well. Trying to run a Mills half now. Ooh, Decker has Winters on the ropes here. He's in good position. 35 seconds left in this second period. As I was saying, Ethan Grindley was called upon during the Brother Rice duel. Was losing the match, but the Brother Rice kid kind of gassed out middle of the second period. Grindley got on top, worked a half and a wrist, and got a big pin for the Bulldogs. Good ride here from Decker. It'll be interesting to see the choice in this third period. If I'm Clinton, I think I would go neutral or even top. So definitely, I think Winters had the advantage on their feet. Gage has to find a way to steal a takedown here. Or if he gets taken down, get a quick reversal and get back to work on top. Winter drops in. Now he's got a body lock. Decker's looking for double unders, kicking over. Feet go out of bounds. No points on the edge of the mat. 1:45 left. Decker down by 1. We haven't really seen a great shot from Gage in this match. There's a shot from Winter, defended by Decker. Decker looks like he's almost trying to sell out for double overthrow. He's got to get his hips up. He's got Winter's arms tight, but they go out of bounds. Decker not satisfied with the 2-point takedown, wants the big move. 1:22 left. Tap and go by Decker, stalling on Winters. Winters holding onto that front headlock. It looks to me like Winters' pace has really slowed down in this third period. Oh, but there's a quick shot. That was smart. Reaches over for 2. Looking for a half. Decker gets his hips out. Good use of that whizzer. In that upper body lock. Again on the edge of the mat. Decker trying to circle. Now Winters back to the edge of the mat. 44 seconds here. Decker just needs the takedown, but I think he's looking for more. Wrestlers break, both showing fatigue now. 34 seconds left. Winters, a long double, head in the middle. Decker could score this takedown here. Breaks one hand, he should circle to his free leg. Oh. Gets in that hip-to-hip whizzer. Was looking for a pancake, I think, there. Now he has the double unders, looking to throw it. Winters decides to throw it. Decker hops his hips over. He's trying to settle back, and he's going to get Winters on his back. Counting back points here. 5 seconds left. Great comeback by Gage Decker, looking for the fall, not gonna happen. Great comeback victory by Gage Decker. Hey, there were those Decker squirrely hips there at the end of the match. They all have them. Great comeback by Gage Decker. Bulldogs up 27-6 now. All right, now we move to the 160 match with Nick Demos versus Caleb Kent from Clinton. Demos comes into this match at 4-5 with 2 falls for the Bulldogs. Nice slide by this Clinton wrestler. Oh, and then drops right into a double. Good chain wrestling. Who's this Clinton wrestler? Caleb Kent. I like that opening sequence from him. Demos aggressively went to that collar tie, and Kent just did a nice slide by there. Another slide by attempt. He gets behind Demos this time, gets the leg in, tries to hop both legs in, but that's potentially dangerous. So a mistake by Kent there. He definitely had Demos dead to rights. Demos tries to tap and go double, steps up, trying to pull those legs in. Kent fights it off with a good crossface. Demos shot from probably too far a distance there, didn't get the penetration he wanted. We have a packed gym tonight here at Mahomet-Seymour. Full of fans, alumni, junior high and kids club. Demos high crotch to double, lifts Kent off and goes right to the leg Turk. That was a good sequence by Demos, trying to reach for that far shoulder, maybe get Kent over. Kent finds his belly, and it is 2-0 Demos with 39 seconds left. I think we have some new additions to our Bulldog TV. The bar at the top, is that animated, Ryan, or is it linked up to something, or is someone keeping score? Okay. New scoreboard app. It looks nice on Bulldog TV. Got the clock and everything. Demos is able to get 2 back points for a tilt, 4-0. .13 Don't want to give up any points if you're Demos here. He's able to control that roll by Kent. Kent has good hand control, trying to step up. 1 second. Good finish to that period by Demos. Demos will start in the bottom position. Gets to his feet pretty quickly as Kent was trying to get in the legs. Oh, Demos tap, sweep, single. Now he's trying a backside finish. He tables the leg, grabs the far hip. That's just how Ledden shows it. Okay, and joining me now is a man who's still on the top 10 win list here at Mahomet, 01 graduate, co-head coach of the kids club with me, Jason Johnston. Oh, as Demos has a nice roll-through tilt here to add some more points. Jason, as an alumni, you must feel pretty proud of this, the 1,000 wins and the accomplishment we're celebrating.
Yeah, it's a really neat thing, and I think one of the coolest things is just seeing a bunch of faces tonight that I haven't seen in years. A lot of local kids showing up. But one of my buddies, I think he was a senior when I was a freshman, came down from Chicago. They already left. Couldn't stay very long, but kind of neat to see that people come from all over the area to help celebrate this pretty special occasion, really.
Now, in the pre-show, I was talking with Riz, going through some of the history. You wrestled for Rob Porter in the 90s. That was when Mahomet jumped from single A to double A, yet the team was still able to keep earning team trophies. And you grew up in Mahomet, so Mahomet was already a top wrestling school. What was that like coming into that program? Was there just an expectation? Was there extra pressure? How did you feel coming into the high school program?
You know, myself and a lot of kids my age, we started in the kids club. And at that time, our kids club was pretty well known around the area as well. And then you get to the junior high, and I think by the time my 6th grade year came, they had won state 3 years in a row in junior high, or 2 out of the last 3, something like that. So then we kept that going. So there was always that expectation of we're going to win. How much can we win, right? And then my freshman year, or the summer between my 8th grade and freshman year, Mahomet made that jump from Class A to 2A, or double A is what it was back then. Of course, there were only 3 classes. So, yes, Mahomet was growing, and we finally had enough students. We made that big jump. Yeah, and it was all of a sudden we kind of had to schedule some Chicago area meets and tournaments, and had to kind of build up our schedule to be ready for some of those postseason studs around the state that all of a sudden we have to wrestle. And then, so that was 1997, 98, I believe. Ryan Berger won state that year, and to this day, he's the only double-A champ that we had. I think we were double-A for, I don't know, 6-7 years before the 3-class system came along. Comes the fall. There's the fall.
Demos adds another 6 points to the Bulldogs score. It'll be now 33-6.
So, yeah, so that was, you know, there was, again, still that expectation. But now, we were having to wrestle big schools double, triple size of us. I think my freshman and sophomore year, we lost in the team sectional finals to Moline. That school has, I don't know, 2,000 people, something like that. We had a little over 700. And then they switched sectionals, and so now, fast forward to my junior year, would have been 2000. As a team, we finally qualified for state that year. And I think in doing so became the fastest team in the state to make the transition from one class to another and get to a team state.
That's an amazing stat.
Yeah, it was kind of neat. And then by my senior year, we took third as a team. Ironically, let's see. So junior year, we lost to Moline in the state first round. And then senior year, I think we lost to Providence in the sectional in the state semis. So, and then the next year, I was in college, but the next year they took fourth. I think they lost to Mount Carmel. So, the tradition's always been there. It's just kind of a matter of, who's been coaching and who the wrestlers were. But it's still going strong 50-some years later, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty amazing how it's carried on through the decades, and it hasn't really slowed down. I mean, Ledden added 30 dual meet wins last year, which is crazy. Since we're talking about dual meet wins, is there a duel or two that stick out to you as like really crazy or special or exciting?
Yeah, for me personally, and again, this was a long time ago, but in my junior year, we had to beat LaSalle Peru to get to the team state. And we were up by 2, and I was the last match. So if I lose, we lose. If I win, we win, and we go to state. And thankfully, it was a kid I'd wrestled a couple times during the year and had a lot of success against. So I won, and our team got to celebrate. That was really cool. It just kind of came down to me, and thankfully it worked out. But and then, of course, being there with our team at Team State, taking third. I talk a lot about that, but again, we were the smallest 2A school in the state. And, we're wrestling schools with thousands of people, multiple junior highs feeding into one big high school. The kids on our team were the kids we went to kindergarten with, to preschool with. And we grew up together and still had this success. We just pushed each other and really enjoyed the sport and being around each other. And I was going to ask you, Nick.
Yeah.
You came from a small town kind of up by the Quad Cities.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel? What are your impressions of being in Mahomet, kind of a wrestling community?
Yeah, I'll get to that. Right now we're seeing number 2, Brennan Hauser, just Mr. Smooth and Slick out there, as he's going to probably rack up some takedowns and some tilts here in this match. But yeah, so I got to come down to the state tournament with a friend my 8th grade year.
Like you said, always smooth.
Yeah. My 8th grade year, I think, that was Chris Kolopanis might have won a state champion. That was the first state championship match I ever watched, was that 103-pound match.
No kidding.
Yep, at the state tournament.
Yep.
You pass the water tower when you come down from the state tournament, when you're coming from the Quad Cities area.
Mm-hmm.
I've always known about Mahomet. When I came here for grad school, my wife started teaching at Centennial. That's where I got my coaching start. I was in it. We were always trying to beat Mahomet. Oh, he's grabbing his shin in that tilt.
Yeah.
Was that kind of
I would guess he's practiced that. If not, that was a heck of an
improvisation.
Yeah.
Ever since I've moved here, I've been full Bulldog. I've been excited and happy to be here. That first year I coached, the team made it to state that I coached with Ledden here at the high school in 2016. The team made it to state. It was the first time I'd been a part of a regional championship team even.
Oh, really?
Then going to state. Yeah, so I wrestled for Erie Prophetstown, and we had solid teams, but not regional championship teams. And Centennial, we came close to a regional once, but it's been awesome. And now that this would be a good transition. We're talking about the high school wins, but it's really been built by a lot of junior high and kids club coaches. Was Jim Moxley your junior high coach, and like your dad was a club coach here. Now we've taken over the club, so I'm definitely excited to be in the system and contributing to this now.
Yeah, it's weird to see how things come full circle, right? After all these years, I'm helping the kids club. My dad was a kids club coach. Brandon Arnold's helping the kids club. His dad was the head kids club coach. And he's here as well supporting the team tonight. And then you look at Jim Moxley and James Heinold at the junior high. And, golly, I mean, how many state trophies do they have there? But then you look at his son Braden and Jim's son Tyler are assistants now.
Yep.
So it's just neat to see how it stays. It's such a – is Mahomet – has it grown? Sure. But is it still a tight community in a lot of ways? Absolutely.
Yep. All right, now we're seeing number 1 ranked Mateo Casillas. He's a 2-time All-Stater. And I think what we've seen from Mateo, especially last year, is that he's always had the athleticism, but his technique started to match the athleticism last year.
Yeah, and I'm going to guess that our kids club down there, he's probably got a lot of fans down there. If he gets the fall here, and I'm guessing it probably won't last very long. But
a lot of Mateo fans.
I think we'll see some of the kids clubbers have some fun down there.
Yeah, and Mateo, I think, he had state championship aspirations last year, lost the semifinal to Donnie Hidden from Washington, ended up coming back and getting 3rd. Washington actually got 2nd last year. But I think what we saw from Mateo is that maybe he wasn't as offensive as we expected down at that state tournament. I realize you're wrestling elite wrestlers with great defense. But, I mean, he's wide open during this match, and I think that's what we'd like to see at the state tournament this year.
Yeah, I don't know how many close matches he's had this year. He probably won't have a lot, to be honest, throughout the season. So you kind of hope he gets some tough competition so he can open up his offense a little more and maybe push his endurance at some point throughout the season.
It'll be interesting to see what happens at the Clash. That's in Minnesota, right?
Yes. Yep, that's in Minnesota. You have to be invited to that, and Mahomet was fortunate enough to be invited this year. I believe the first time ever.
Yep.
So it's kind of neat. I hope win or lose there, right? It's an honor to be invited. And you go out there and try to do your best and hopefully come home with maybe some kind of team trophy. But it's neat that they get to go. That's going to be some of the toughest competition in the country.
Yep.
And I don't think this one's going to last too much longer. It's 10 seconds. We'll see. He's got to make an adjustment. He might not even try here. Looks like he's maybe comfortable going into the second period.
Yeah, he's just racking up the points here. Hauser got a tech fall in the previous match, and that's something that we talked about if we're talking about Mahomet history, something we've noticed or that you've noticed, under Rob Porter, you were take him down, let him up. Riz mentioned that's kind of what Marty was, take him down, let him up. With these Leaden teams lately, I don't know if it's a conscious decision, but they've been very good on top. They've been pinners. I know Leaden stresses maximizing bonus points, and that's the fall. So interesting kind of evolution as we move into the modern era of Mahomet wrestling.
Yeah, and that may also kind of reflect the transition of the state of wrestling in itself. A lot of leg riding and some funky stuff on the top that you see these days, as Mateo has a nice Turk. But yeah, Rob Porter, who was my coach my 4 years, just really, really pushed being tough on our feet. Takedowns, takedown, takedown. So you see a lot of the career records for Mahomet, whether it's tech falls or takedowns, or it's a lot of the Rob Porter guys. The Ryan Bergers of the world. Mike Slade's on there a couple times. You see a lot of take him down, let him up, take him down, let him up. I remember we'd go into dual meets, and Rob would say, I want 3 takedowns before you pin him. It's just we were just going to be tough on our feet. Did we practice top and bottom? Sure, but we were always going to be tough on our feet.
So Mateo gets the fall, adds another 6 points. The Bulldogs have cleared the 42-point barrier, so this is officially a win for the Bulldogs. The 1,002nd win.
Wow.
Taking the mat here. I don't know if I know this wrestler. At least I don't know him with long hair. Zach Hammond against Brian Alejandro from Clinton. So an interesting thing, that a trend in high school wrestling is over-scheduling dual meets. So Rob has plenty of duels on the schedule. Some of those might get canceled from weather or other things, but he has to rotate his lineup. He has to sit wrestlers. We didn't see Talon Pollock tonight, who's ranked number 2 at 145. We're not seeing Colton Crowley tonight, who's the regular 220-pounder, ranked number 5. So you got, and with 60 kids on the team, at least you've got the depth to do that.
Yeah, it's, James Heindel and I were talking at the kids club practice last night. When we were in school, you may get 30, 35 matches before the state series. It seems like these days they're getting 40, 45 matches at times. And when you got the depth, that's great. You see these kids at state, now they have 50 wins sometimes before the state series.
Yeah.
I think Mateo had mid-50 wins last year, 50 something.
Yep. Yeah, your spot on the top 10 list might be in danger.
No.
with Hatton and Hauser and Casillas graduating this year.
Hey, records are meant to be broken, right?
Yep.
And real quick, too, I wanted to give a shout-out as we talk about the history of Mahomet wrestling. I got to give shout-out to Mary Kelly. She was a year behind me, so she would have graduated in 2002. But she was really, I know she's not here tonight. She lives in Hawaii. But she was a pioneer for women's wrestling in our state.
Yep.
I remember she started in kids club with us, and you just didn't see many girls.
Nope.
And then junior high came, and you didn't see many girls. Then high school came, you didn't see many girls. And she was quite the draw. When she was wrestling, she would catch people's attention in the crowds, other teams, and she would win.
Yeah,
I mean, she was just good. To us, she was always a teammate, just Mary on the team. But for a lot of people, it was just different.
Yep.
They didn't see that. And, fast forward 20-some years later, and now it's the fastest-growing sport in the country.
Yep.
And she was truly a pioneer in our state. I believe she's an IWCOA Hall of Famer in our state. You know, her dad, Jerry, NCAA runner-up, her Uncle Bill, NCAA champion.
That's good pedigree.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
probably, we should really talk to her at some point.
Yeah.
Something that we could put on social media, especially for our club. We have, I think, 3 girls. We'd love to have more, but it'd be interesting to hear her side of the story. I'm sure that she just thought wrestling was what she was supposed to do. You know, it probably wasn't, not to put words in her mouth. I don't even really know her, never spoke to her, but I'm sure growing up in that environment, it just seemed natural.
It was in the blood.
Yeah.
I mean, and she was good. She, you know, do we win a team title without her, or, you know, a state medal? Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, she was part of our team. She was our solid 103-pounder. And I think she just missed going to state her senior year. Maybe she might have taken 4th or something like that at sectional. And back then you had to be top 3.
Yep. Yeah,
But it's great seeing the females in this sport, the female tournaments. The IHSA has its own female wrestling tournament now, state tournament.
Well, it'll also be interesting to see what schools do. My school, Erie Prophetstown, they have like 9 or 10 girls. They've had 9 or 10 girls for the past 2 seasons. Looks like Hammond may get a varsity win here, and there's a fall, another 6-pointer for the Bulldogs.
It is now 50-12 as a team score.
And they hired a separate women's
Did they?
coach. I mean, they all practice together still, travel to most of the meets, but there are girls' meets. Our Mahomet girls wrestled in Pontiac, I think, last Friday in a Friday night tournament. Jeff Castor, former state champ for Mahomet, I think he's kind of taken the role of main head girls coach. So, yeah, that'll be great to see what our girls can do at the state tournament.
Grow the sport. I love it. So, I don't know this kid from Clinton, but I saw he was, I think, one of their team captains. So,
let's get a name here. This is Dawson Thayer from Clinton.
okay.
Camden Harms. Camden was a fresh soft state place winner. Now, second year in the varsity lineup.
You got to try to break those hands apart. That's a big boy.
Oh, that's tough to lift.
Yeah.
And he was holding them up for a while.
I was going to say, didn't quite get those hands separated either. We'll see if that kind of woke Harms up a little bit. He kind of had just kind of a bad shot and got spun behind. Let's see if that woke him up a little bit. Seems to be a little more aggressive with that underhook now.
Harms, I believe, is an honorable mention. Yes, honorable mention heavyweight. 9-2 with 8 falls. Ledden's telling him to high crotch off the
Yeah, he wanted him to use that underhook.
Or knee pick.
He wanted him to use that a little more.
You know, that...
He's got the Russian tie here. Oh.
Oh. Well, he blocked it, but Thayer's looking for that front 3/4.
Nice.
Oh, he cracks him down. Gets the 2. Takes the lead 4-2 with less than 10 seconds left. Great job scoring at the end of the period.
I will say, when they were doing the introduction for the before the wrestling, and Mr. Hensley said there's only been 7 coaches in the history of Mahomet wrestling. That's pretty wild. Tells you a lot of the success that each individual has had.
Yeah, being able to hire, you know, the right guy almost every time. You know, and one of those was, you know, Coach Tom Porter. Oh, man, a near side cradle at heavyweight. Harms has the leg.
He's been trying to do that tripod up from bottom, and the guy kind of came out front and put in the cradle. Not going to be able to get it, though.
Yeah, one of those 2-year stints was Tom Porter.
Yep.
One was Jim Risley for a half a year, so you maybe could put those off to the side and say it was 5 coaches.
Really just 5.
Yeah.
So Tom.
It's kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. So Tom was here only 2 years, but he did get that 4th place trophy after his son Rob moved on.
Harms comes out on top. He may get his 9th fall of the year. Another 6-pointer for the Bulldogs. We have only 2 matches left, and they look like they might be forfeits. So Lucas Altstetter, I think, is taking the forfeit for the Bulldogs at 106. And we'll see if Caden Hatton comes out to take this forfeit or if it's just a double forfeit. I don't see why you'd waste a duel for Caden Hatton to
I don't think
forfeit.
they will.
Oh,
well,
no, he looks like. We won't get to talk about Caden Hatton, but a 5th place at 106 last year. A guy that's grown every year. Really great to see.
Yeah, he's tough. He's fun to watch, too.
Yep.
He's smooth. A lot like Hauser.
Hauser, yep.
Very smooth. Transitions very well from move to move. Tough on top. You know, for 113 pounder, you don't see a lot of like 5'8", 5'9", 113 pounders.
Definitely taller than us.
Yeah.
All right, and so that concludes our coverage tonight. We're gonna have to take some pictures with this 1,000 victory banner. So the 1,002nd victory for the Bulldogs. Special night that belongs to the whole Mahomet wrestling community, former wrestlers, former coaches, parents, and fans. This all belongs to you. So thank you for joining us, and good night from Bulldog TV.
The camera's not even on. Why wouldn't it? That's the highlights of this thing. And the match is already over. Aaron, what's it look like?
up here with me.
Oh, yeah.
There for a second, I was like,
I forgot about that.
that's what down was about this car. And I was like, Honey, do you know it? How are you? Do you know Varsity good?
This feels like an island.
Okay, so both of them were
Video.
okay.
I'm being excited to have fun around it.
Yeah. It's weird when they're all on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Got a job. Got a job.
Pandemonium in our house, especially
Did they leave? Gotcha. That's all. Like, I have no idea what we're doing. Yeah, oh, yeah.